Good day. This is Regina's Rabbit Hole. Much love to you and yours. I was talking about copyright infringement and stuff earlier when I was cut off, and I had no idea. I was talking for about, I thought for about an hour and a half, but I got 20 minutes. 20 minutes. I've been really having a lot of problems lately, but I've noticed that a lot of other people are having problems also. So copyright, collaboration. We build off of each other. It's a consciousness field. Okay. There's research that actually measures and shows how we learn, and that the conscious grid actually changes as a species as we grow. And they said one of the things that people were most concerned about, scientists were most concerned about right now, during this time of ascension that they call revelation, or the age of technology, whatever word you want to give it, right? Good day, love. They said our biggest problem would be keeping up with the technology because it's going so fast. So fast. We're saturated in technology. We're 5D. We're 5D, and I don't know how much you heard before if you were here. I thought I did about an hour and a half. I was really going in. All the different dynamics and aspects and stuff, very intricate like I do. And it only caught 20 minutes out of maybe an hour and a half I thought I was talking. And I just caught that, so we're going back over it. Collaboration and copyright. There's a lot of copyright infringement stuff. There's a lot of tactics being used to keep people from collaborating, to make it feel adversive, to make it feel uncomfortable, to use our idiosyncrasies against us, our need for the microwave, coming from the microwave age. We want to quick fix it. We want it now, using the dynamics and the social dynamics and stuff against us. It's the art of war, a game of chess. Our attention spans are pretty low for most people, and we like an eye feast. So if we don't see something that's appealing to something that we're used to seeing or addicted to, something interesting, right? If it doesn't look appealing to something in the psyche, we'll bypass it. And if it doesn't look well made, if it's not feeding that visual need, then we'll shut it off. So we'll go to a video, and because it's not entertaining to us in the first few seconds or whatever, we'll shut it down, maybe in the first couple of minutes. So if you put videos on the internet and you're constantly shutting somebody's feed down, or there's loud noise, right? People are talking about meditation, but yet you're hearing fire engines and stuff. So they're not going to get that social dynamics into their economy or dynamics that they want, because they don't have the flow. Doesn't look the part, okay? Because you're still building and you don't have an entire network and money's behind you. So your collaboration is on a different type of level. You're still seeking. You're very vulnerable. Remember, this is corporate America, right? The best of them, like they're sharks, right? When it comes to business. What? United States of America. Corporate America. Corpus. The big boys. Worldwide. Big business, huh? So, any big boy in business will tell you, maybe not in these words, okay? There's buyers and sellers. You're either buying or you're selling. You're either producing or you're and the demand. You know what I'm saying? You're needy for it. So when certain people start looking at money, either you're a useless eater or you're a producer. Either you're in all caps and you're a business and you provide business for others, or you're a liability when it comes to big money. Okay? They can feed off of you. Think of the straw man, the social security number, okay, and ownership and property and sleight of hands. You think that you're free, but you have a social security number. You think that you're free, but you're only privy to a particular amount of information. You think that you're free, but you have no recourse or means to go after people that treat you unjustly. How free is that? It's costly. It's a costly situation, right? So we collaborate with each other in order to change our world, in order to change our social dynamics, our economy. We got cryptocurrency. We're talking about the food and the GMOs. We're talking about the healthcare industry. We're talking about the music. We're talking about the way that we do politics even, right?
Talking to niggas up there?
Yeah, I'm talking to niggas. I'm live.
Huh?
I'm talking to niggas. What goes on in the dark comes in the light. It's a live feed. I'm talking to everybody. Talking to us Nagas. What's up, Nagas? But I am talking to niggas. What do you want, my love?
Go ahead. Let me see what you do. Since you're talking.
What do I do? What do we do here?
Yeah.
What do we do, family? We talk. We talk about things that are interfering with collaboration and copyrights, right? We talk about things that are blocking
What do that mean?
our abilities.
What do blacking mean?
Excuse me?
What do blacking mean?
Block out. Block out. Yes.
Do you talk about strengthening families?
Would you like to come on camera?
I don't mean just what I'm saying. I'm on. They can't see me.
Yeah, they can see you.
They can see me. Hey, how you doing? You talk about families? Strengthening families?
I'm talking about strengthening everyone.
Okay. Well, isn't families the most important thing you're supposed to strengthen? Unity amongst families?
Absolutely. And we are a family as a community. We flow ideas, and our ideas help each other.
Yeah.
That's what societies are made of. They're comprised of ideas, right? Like the dynamics between men and women, for instance.
Absolutely. But before communities, what comes before communities? Because the community is only as strong as the individual.
It all starts with a thought.
Huh?
It all starts with a thought.
With a person. If the person's thoughts are discombobulated, then there's no community. That's why communities are in such dire need.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, is the need to be able to change the way that we see things as a community so that we can get well.
But that's not happening.
Exactly. Why isn't that happening, Ken?
Because of the masculinity and the feminization of the black man and black woman.
It's off,
It's
isn't
so
it?
very off.
Very off, exactly.
Because it's unnatural.
It's unnatural. What's unnatural about it, dear?
It's unnatural for the woman to raise the baby male into a man. He never becomes a man. So the community within itself is weak. When we're looking at the emotions of a person, the emotions, where are the men? Because if the woman is raising the black male today to strengthen herself, where's the community? So when you say communities, it cannot be strength-based on emasculation and effeminization, or the feminization of the community, because that's what it is. So when a man does try to take charge, like myself, then I'm ostracized.
No, there's nothing wrong with taking charge. As a matter of fact, I enjoy it when men take charge. There's just a way to go about doing things, and that takes wisdom. So I enjoy a man with wisdom that takes charge.
Really?
Indeed.
So the man with wisdom, where's our communities at right now?
Well, first of all, the balance of female and male energy is off, like you said.
Why?
because the female is not allowed to really contribute in the way that it should be.
But the females are contributing, but it's not contributing in the so-called black community. When we say conscious, it's not conscious. Only
That's
from
why I was talking about collaboration right now, right? And copyright, because as a community, the arts and the creative abilities that we have as a people is being stifled. There's no flow. It's being stifled by each other. We're keeping each other sick. That's basically what I was talking about.
So then where's the community at? Because the community overall and the so-called black is at an all-time low.
We've been pitted against each other psychologically, strategically, right? The art of war, we've been pitted against each other. Okay?
At least
this is done systematically.
By who?
By the people who have economy on lockdown.
So then who are they?
That would be the white man that you're always talking about.
Well, it's not only the white man.
Right, exactly.
It's just 6 other nations that control right now.
Okay.
And so with that control, we have no control. So we can be on this thing all day long talking about communities and such, but that's not happening.
No, we do have control. It all starts with a thought. When we appreciate each other and the value that we have with each other, then that spreads, okay? We are the leaders of sciences, of spiritual sciences, all this stuff. People copy us, but we don't recognize our own values for each other or as a community. We're hurt, we're angry, we're clogged up. Our chakras are, if we are as a community, a body, right? And so you're a head, and then there's the feet, and then there's, the heart and all this kind of stuff. We're not working as a machine. We're not working properly as a body because we're confused. Yeah. And part of the way that we learn is through our creative arts and stuff, right? Okay? And that's the kind of stuff that's being stifled and stolen within our communities. It all starts with us. If we don't value it, then no one else does. What they do is they snatch our valuables right from underneath us, like crumb snatchers, and then they'll go and develop it because they already have platforms and monies, okay? And they already have the dynamics where they appreciate information and they appreciate certain things they know is valuable. So where we'll dismiss each other and our good stuff, where we will dismiss our own valuable people, okay?
Valuable people.
And however, using
valuable people. When you talk about people,
our women and men, our men, you are valuable.
No, absolutely. No, let's get honest.
Yes.
The black man.
No, wait. No, okay. Say what you want to say. You're not valuable. That's part of the problem. Reflection.
Well, I'm talking about facts. The facts right now, as we look here, and let's just deal with the United States.
Wait 1 second, just to say facts. No, just 1 second. Facts are always fluctuating because your truth is not necessarily someone else's. That's all I want to say.
Well, the truth stands at where it is in our communities. Because you call communities. Our black men don't have no power in our communities. Our women have more power because they're raising our children. And anytime you have a woman raising a man to be, he will never be a man. His thinking, his actions, his moral ways will always be effeminized.
And who taught you this message?
You don't have taught. It's just, I'm 56 years old.
Where did this message come from, Ken?
What do you mean?
I live it. Learn the message.
The message is I live it every day. I have a master's. I'm a counselor, and I'm living it every day. I'm living it.
Where do you see it? You're living it. And what way does it manifest in your life? How do you say you're living this message? Where women are,
Well, I can't blame every woman, but we have laws.
And men have no value and stuff.
Well, it's not that men don't have no value. We know we have value, but until you taught what is your value, you have no value. I know I have value. I'm a strong black man. Mm-hmm. Now, when I say strong, knowing who I am, where I come from, and know that our people are the greatest people on the planet. However, throughout a course of time, that's been stolen away from us. And so now a system has taken that away and put our woman in front of us. Now, it doesn't devalue the woman at all. However, if we look at the past 70 years, it has seriously changed. So we are living an illusion, looking into a metaphysics, so to speak, and not dealing with what basically governs people. Laws govern people. Did you lie today? Did you steal today? Did you cheat today? Are you loving your neighbor as yourself? We have been told, we talk about black. Black is a color.
And that's where our talents and abilities being appreciated, appreciating each other, appreciating the value of each other, and the copyright and the collaboration come in.
But we don't. Let's deal with that fact. We don't.
I think that we're too fixated on the problem and not the solution. The solutions come from our arts, just like the message that you received. That
laws.
Women are this and men are that.
The laws
they all
come
from messages.
No,
it all starts with a thought. All that stuff comes from a thought first. And all those things are nurtured from the families, from the man and woman first. Those concepts are carried. We co-sign those messages.
Everything from my learning comes from the laws. The laws give you thought, the laws of nature. Who controls? At a point in time, we're talking about the earth. What is the earth? Consists of what? The land, the sea, and the ground that we were. Those things right there, Lord, to not tamper with. They've been compromised. So what we eat compromise us to the point that we're out of mind, out of body. And so now the so-called community is talking about, let's go here. And I have out-of-body experience here. But if we deal with in our communities, how is the black woman raising the children by herself? Where are the men? If my mom raised me what she did, raised me pretty much my life, because my father didn't have knowledge of self, then my thinking is of a woman, because where is the man? To say no, not to be abusive, but to say, no, this can't happen. So-called queen.
You fix it, and you seem like you're very angry because of the dynamics between men and women.
Surely oppression makes a black. Men. Of course, why? Who would not be to see a woman struggling raising children? Who wouldn't be? Who would be happy about that when the woman has to protect herself and have a masculine spirit? This is totally opposite.
So where are the men?
What do you mean?
There's a reason why this is happening. The women didn't do that by themselves.
You're right, because we were given laws to govern this whole world planet. And at one time, we did rule. If we look back, we ruled, when you call it the Middle Ages, we ruled back in there. We ruled for 1,000 years. We ruled before that. But we have lost our place and we have lost our minds. Right. Because if we think that a woman can be put up front, it's not to devalue a woman whatsoever, but we know that women cannot rule. The man can't rule. No one can rule unless they're looking into a power greater than themselves to restore and understand. Did you tell a lie today? You know what I'm saying? Did you steal today? You understand what I'm saying? Are you trying to knock on somebody else's girl?
But why is it that the men who do the most of that are, excuse me, I'm sorry.
But you do it over. Go ahead.
The men who do the most of that are always the ones that are the first to say those things as points of reference for the entire community of other people to follow.
Well, when you say community,
the men that lie and cheat and steal are the ones pointing fingers at other men lying.
Those are the ones who are on your. These are the ones that are on your YouTubes and to our tubers. Those are your lies and steal. You know why? Because first of all, any man that's talking to any so-called woman, he needs to ask her, Queen, is your king okay with talking to him? Oh, let me talk to him. If you live, let me talk. This is not happening. So you got men, you know what I'm saying, that are talking to women and looking at it. It's all going back to sex, and it's all going back to, you know what I'm saying, out of order. You can't have no community because it's man, woman, and it's children. It ain't just one woman, one man. He's looking with knowledge. The knowledge is not getting us anywhere. Matter of fact.
No, it is the knowledge. It's the ideas. It's the ideas that I was saying that build societies and communities. It's the ideas that make or break societies, okay?
And the society is very sick, like cancer.
Yeah, and so that's why you have to have new information to get rid of the old ideas, to wash them away. And if we don't allow them to come in because we're dominating, because we're afraid of the new information, then that's not the fault of what's trying to come in. Okay, that's the gatekeeper's fault. There's people locking out the female principle. Now, strength is strength. Yes, the female principle is flexible, and the man's principle is too rigid. And so a wise man also knows to balance the female and the male principle is what? Strong as in flexible and in strength, or strong as in rigid, where I won't budge or move, and I can't move with the flow of things.
Where is the men coming on there and saying, Queen, did you lie today? King, did you lie? So-called kings, because most kings and queens were wicked. Let's get that straight. And everybody wasn't kings and queens. Mm. And the ones that were, they were rulers, and they were enslaving the people to Baal, as history known.
People are being enslaved, and that's what I'm talking about.
Like for me, when you come and you hide in the secret thing, I'm not appeased to a king. It makes me feel less than. So if I know my so-called queen, I don't even go on the king and queen. I go as a princess because most kings and queens were wicked. And everybody wasn't that. So when we say these things, that's not happening. We're in a fantasy world when we say that. And most women, for the most part, get all the information from a man.
See, this is the stuff that's underneath the surface, the stuff that we be hiding. It's time to, I deal with the shadow stuff. This is my shadow, y'all. My husband, over 20 years on the sofa. This is Ken.
Yeah. How did I get on the sofa?
Because we don't see eye to eye, obviously, right?
We don't, and it's not only here. It's the successful ones. It's the ginger war coming out on the system,
and you have a whole society that's able to put me in my place and tell me what a woman's place is.
On a YouTube, this is an illusion right here.
No, this is me building the world that I want to live in. This is me being the hope that I want to see.
So you said
the help that I want to see.
Absolutely, and I'm glad we're here because you said
there's other people here with us. So
illusion. You don't know them. They could be pedophiles. People that we see.
It all starts with a thought. And
they could be a pedophile, molesters. We don't know them.
They could be, but they could also be builders of truth. They could be sanctified. They could be helpers. They could be. They could be pure people of spirit. They could be people like myself. I'm looking for like-minded individuals.
Not on this?
Yes, I am.
How long you been doing this? 5 years?
In the same way, there's a corresponding frequency. Wait a second here, okay? Because you're insulting the people that are listening.
I'm being true. How can I be
That's your truth. That's what I was saying.
You put me on live.
Exactly what I... No, I didn't put you anywhere.
Ask
you came up here and interrupted my feed. And because I'm always hiding that and cutting that out, I exposed it because that's what you wanted. You keep asking for it.
I don't agree.
No, you allowed people to see who you are.
And I'm a king to you.
You're a king to yourself.
No, okay, so you see that, right? So you got a community that you're talking to people, and I'm supposed to be your king. I apologize
for the level of honesty that I have to use right now because of the way that you're behaving in front of everybody that I deal with all the time. And you're not even being as hostile as you usually are. I deal with a great level of humiliation and degradation and verbal abuse and all that kind of stuff. And the reason why is because of the way that you feel about women, what society has taught you. Your personal code is really messed up.
Really?
Yeah, it is.
And that's what your community believe? A black man who get up and go to work every morning. Every morning, you go to work. Who lived a life? Who been shot? Who been to jail?
And I respect you so much for that. I love you for that.
No.
Yes, I do, and I'm saying that I do in front of everybody.
Because this is a facade, and it's not who you are. When I talk like this, you say I'm yelling and go bananas.
Do you want me to disrespect you in front of people and show my response that I don't like the way that you're treating me? You know that I don't.
It's a life
I'm
right there, but I'm a man.
I'm a very peaceful person, but you go gunning from me all the time.
We're being true, so this is not.
And
who
I
you
have
really are.
Nowhere to go, no family, no friends, nowhere
and
to go.
I don't either.
No financial. I don't ask for money for what I do.
What you
and you be interrupting me. It's very difficult to build a community with people
5 years
when you don't appreciate the value of what you have.
I have is a disrespectful wife.
No, I'm not disrespectful to you.
Listen, if you step on somebody's
foot, I want to respect you.
Let me finish.
I want to have that space
the community
so that I can love
you.
You're hostile to me, and I have to speak up for myself. I have no other recourse.
This is a front. Because right now you've been throwing something at me.
Because you deserve it, but because I respect you,
physically abused.
No, what?
I deserve to be physically abused.
No, because
Do you physically abuse me?
Listen, you're gaslighting
I'm asking you a question.
Me. You be gaslit. No, I don't.
That's not. I'm gaslit. I'm talking about truth. This is wrong, community. We don't be truthful. We let our black woman come in front of us. It's supposed to be a balance.
I don't physically abuse you.
You don't?
Okay. I hit you.
Okay. How many times? Because I'm saying stop.
When you
I don't
back me into a corner, like, okay, this is a small area in the house. Okay. This man has the entire house.
And how many
He's
times
been on the sofa for 8 years.
Why am I on
He comes looking for me.
To
argue with me. To accuse me of things that I'm not doing.
But
and as a woman, I'm supposed to be quiet.
But you have done it, though.
I'm supposed to be ladylike.
You have been on there and inboxing people. Let's get out of it. You have been on there inboxing cats. I say, hey, I don't like it.
Do you take responsibility for the way that you interact with me?
I don't have.
When do I have a voice? And when I speak for myself, as a woman, why am I being portrayed as the enemy
Because
and disrespectful to man? No, a woman, a person needs to speak up for themselves at some point. And when I do, that's when you get angrier and you say that this is the abusive domestic violence stuff, yes.
Well, let's talk about
abuse. It's emotionally and physically abusive.
Domestic violence considered emotional, verbal,
Oh, and let me finish that. When you came looking for me and you wouldn't leave me alone and you were yelling at me and I'm trembling like this and you would not leave me to my own space to regroup as a woman, then there is times when I have lost it. Yeah. And I hit him in his freaking eye. Because I'm learning to control myself because I must. I must overcome this because I would end up in jail. They want me in the hospital, cuckoo, or jail. And knowing about gang stalking.
What's gang stalking? That's what I do.
Here we go. Oh, I'm loving this. I love the way our ancestors put things together.
And so when we talk about,
for those who can
this is what we talk about community. This is what's going on. And this is what's going on in the community. This is what's going on in the community. I don't like my wife. There's nothing wrong with her getting on and doing something, but to say this is my life all day and all night on a YouTube. If not, then go out, get a job, work, do something. I'm providing as a black man. I'm not saying I'm a perfect family, but what I deal with, strong minds, strong families, strong communities. The balance within. There's nothing wrong if you're on YouTube, but all day and all night. If something is wrong, then you fix it. No one knows. I don't know you, don't know me. You know, it's not about that. You know what I'm saying? I love my wife. We've been together 20 years. However, we're totally opposite, but opposite attracts. I'm a man, a real man, and I love the black woman. I love the black man. You understand what I'm saying?
I don't like this. I don't like being in abusive situations. I like
But
peace.
if we don't like abusive situations, you left 4 times because you was on this right here.
Exactly. And if
but
for some weird
back.
reason, every time that I left, I had freaking problems, and that goes with the gang stalking, being a targeted individual.
Who told you about gang stalking?
Yo, this is the weird thing, right? As intelligent as you are, right?
But you listen.
The information is right there, and I'm not allowed to share with you those things that would vindicate me or put us in an area where it would be holistic.
You don't listen to me.
Those things you're deliberately blocking out because you know who you are.
No.
And things come into the light. You're forced to interfere with me, make phone calls when I'm online, do all kinds of crap. You're forced to disturb my frequency and have me like this.
I'm working at 4 o'clock in the morning. While you get to do this all day long.
I deal with post-traumatic stress disorder and
Are you getting help from it? Now you're dealing with that. That is a tax. How look for you? How bother you?
Listen, I made different, and I pull in information from different areas.
This is what this is what you got. I'm a black man. I try to guide my wife as a man.
I appreciate that. When you're being correct and you're not being facetious or angry, you've got something in you that is not.
We all have something else. We all have that. I'm not negating that. However, as a man, I'll stand as a man until I die.
As gentle
and when I say no, I say no. She say no, she say no. We're supposed to come together. I'm supposed to lead. How can a woman lead us?
I'm not trying to lead anyone.
She's running this whole thing.
Is not leading.
Sharing what? This is the information we share. Did you lie today? Did you steal today?
You're telling me what to share.
So we can outwit these sexual molestation, these homosexuality. Do you support homosexuality? Yes. Do you support the white man? Yes. You watch them all day. So you're confused.
You're going to use all the trigger stuff to try
to drive away. You tell the family the truth because we deal with lies. I don't know who anybody is. I trust no man as far as I can see, no woman in today's community.
You don't trust yourself.
Some things I fall short. I deal with all the laws, all 613, because that's what got us fucked up.
Don't follow none.
I can't follow on my ancestors, but I get truth with myself because I earned all this wisdom. You know what I'm saying? I love my queen, but there's a spiritual attack. We wrestle not against what? The flesh and blood, but we wrestle against what? Spiritual principalities and spiritual and dark places. Yes, they are real. How do we deal with this? But I can't let my woman, she's running this whole show, but she don't know.
It's not a competition. I was up here sharing information you know nothing about.
You put me on live.
No,
you don't
I
like
didn't.
it?
You interfered with my life.
I'm getting ready to bounce, fam. This sickness right here
that
is going on is what it is. She's abusive. Yeah, we're both abusive, but it's sick. She laying hands on me. I can knock
not
her.
abusive.
She's laying her hands on me. Talk to her family. She's not only talking. You all over the place.
You're
this place,
trying to get
dynamic stuff going on. Confusion.
In a hospital, and you're trying to get
How
me
can you go
thrown
to a
in
hospital?
Jail. You deliberately be gaslighting me and gunning for me.
Where you get gaslighted?
You hunt me down inside
Hunt you down
the
how?
house.
I'm going to work 4 o'clock in the morning. You here all day long.
You're a therapist, right? A family therapist.
It doesn't make a difference. No, I'm there.
So, and I helped you with that schoolwork, right?
Yes,
so
you did.
Studied and
but I got it. You helped me with my master's year. But you went to school too, and stop.
Can you lower your voice just a little
bit? Baby, I'm a man. That's what men do. They talk loud,
not
baby.
Not all men talk like you. Not all men are
yes, we do.
with you.
Men talk like that.
Not all men are like that.
Yes, they do.
That's that program bullcrap that you're.
That's
design,
our spirit.
Nah, your design is your actual voice, okay? Because I did your
spirit.
freaking chart according to human design. Yeah, your voice box is actually magic. You push with your voice, okay?
We all do.
No, we don't all do.
Oh, you don't push with your voice?
Yeah.
You're confused.
I do. No,
I love it, but you're confused.
You're gaslighting me, baby.
You're smart.
I already know that.
You keep talking about where you get gaslight from.
I'm intelligent, and that's why you try to shut me down. Okay.
I'm shutting you down. We're having a general conversation.
But not by my own means, but by the spirit of our Creator.
There's a spiritual type.
And so they want to be heard, our ancestors, in the spirit of our Creator, and they will.
The ancestors one guys in the predicament we're in.
The predicament that you're in, if you're not inviting them with you,
we're going to be ancestors in 1,000 years from now, and what we're doing is going to generate.
This is not a competition. You cannot talk about things that you don't even like or you don't know.
It doesn't make a difference. The facts are what I deal with reality of what's going on right now. And the black woman and black men are in serious trouble. And the kids are coming up even more. Biblically, it says that our women shall raise children. They become monsters. The children, we can't say nothing to them. The men are falling back.
I would have politely, like a lady, been in my own space if I had my own economy.
You can.
But because I didn't have my own economy and you interfere with what I'm trying to do, and it interferes with my design as a person, I have a difficult time holding my audience, having a good atmosphere to be able to have my cast, and I've spent a lot of time hiding the crap that you be doing behind the scenes.
What I be doing? I do no more than what you do, Regina.
This is a mini example of a macro.
This is the first time. How many times I've been up in this room since you've been up here?
Okay, we're not going to play games here.
You act like I quit every day. No, I don't.
Listen, I respect you. And I do.
Now you do.
No.
You're holding, and that's how you should always hold your people. I can teach you because I'm your man. If a man's not leading this world, you can't lead me.
Ken, I don't want you to be my man.
But you know
I've been
why don't you listen? So why don't you, though, baby?
I respect you. I'm respecting you as much
as
I
using
can
me,
under these conditions.
You're using me.
No, I want to leave.
Oh, then go.
We have a daughter, and this is a
financial
situation, and I'm a lady.
And I've been taking care of
girls. I don't want to leave on my back like you keep trying to make me.
You left 4 times.
I'm on my fucking feet, and that's the way that I'm going to leave.
Why the women ain't helping you?
That's
why ain't one woman? Why are you always talking to men?
We have to change the way that we see things.
You're not making sense, baby.
People are programmed. It's
no,
not
you're
their
programmed.
fault if they have jealousy.
Stop watching. I'm gonna leave family.
And they're not helping
Stop
each
watching
other.
the white man.
I'm trying
leave
to
the white man
change
alone,
that.
and you gotta leave brothers alone. So, this is the deal. Brothers got to come up together and start simping, and we got to start holding accountable ourselves as men. But women got to be held accountable. We all have to be held accountable. I'm not saying I'm wrong. She want to leave, she can. So right now, what she's doing is using me.
Actually,
now I haven't even got into it.
That I
gotta buy all this goddamn weed. I gotta buy weed to smoke every day, to do everything, to have sex. I gotta go to weed and you do anything. Then you go into what I'm doing. You're abusive.
I don't
you're
like
using
you,
me.
and that's the only way I'll let you touch me. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so that's what I gotta do. So is that what and you saying communities? Are you being real or are you living a lie?
Listen, your energy is very counterproductive to mine. You're hostile. I feel like I'm dying inside. Okay, when you touch me.
And I'm not.
And so that's why.
And I'm not.
You're so freaking hostile. I don't even. I use
hostile?
THC to help with
you hit me and I'm hostile.
Traumatic stress disorder.
You keep talking about some white man as he's posed. That's a spiritual attack.
You got me shaking and stuff. I'm asking you to please.
So here I'm going. So where you shaking at? Use a phone. Here, take this right here and go with your oil. I'm glad you exposed. And it's not about that fun. You are exposed. I don't know about gaslighting.
I'm only exposed to people that are ignorant.
You got that from a system that has you very, very sick.
Really?
You're in different rooms you're going with because you're in a spirit attack. And you don't want them, not only from this black man, but any black man. And you get all your information from men. The women need to come and put you in your place. And if you want to leave, why don't you leave? You get your check, leave.
I've been working on it.
Well, the family can help you out tonight because
Yeah.
you're the greatest.
If you
know
would
what?
have
I'm
your
fail.
human trafficking individuals
I don't know about that.
latched, yes
How?
you do, from when you was in jail, remember?
Oh, family,
You
let us know you.
snitch.
You're sick. And that's what's going on with Israel.
Okay,
You're
love.
sick.
Okay, love.
Sick.
Have a good night, babe.
Yeah.
And no, I don't want any sex. Keep your bag. I'm going to deal with
What?
this.
You don't want no sex?
Fuck you. Please get out. Please get out. Thank you. Okay? For years, this is what I've been dealing with. While I get information, while I share with you, while I raise children, while you see me smile, and you see me do all the things that I do to keep my nerves straight, trying to overcome severe abuse that I grew up with, post-traumatic stress disorder, and an environment where I'm literally being tortured and harassed, not only with electronic frequencies and stuff like that. You got to look up, there's too many dynamics to this ish. This is Regina's rabbit hole. Okay? Back to what the freak I was talking about is collaboration, the way that we see things. It's the way that we see things that are holding our world together. The way that we see each other, the way that we value each other. Okay? Keeping us in a stagnated, fixed position. What's up, love? So now you know. Okay? I said I deal with shadow work. That was light. That was light. That's what I have attempted to walk away from, but I was stopped and just kind of ended up back here with my children. And no money's still to be able to leave. And working on listening to the ancestral voice and putting the pieces of information that I've studied, my research and stuff together, and learning how to correspond with you. So I've had to learning to overcome all my fears and obstacles. I was a hermit, working on doing as much as I can to leave the situation. Why don't some people leave? I hear the talk, and I see the posts and the innuendos. Sometimes people leave because they can't, because the situation. I can't leave one place with post-traumatic stress disorder and go to another place that's full of discord. Especially when I know who I am and that there's actually another whole force that's called gang stalking and targeted individuals out there harassing me. So I figured I would get a room, right? But they find me there and they harass me there and I don't feel safe. And if I don't want to be on my back with some man, then I have to protect myself. And then if I have to protect myself, what's going to happen if something like this happens, if something happens and I have to defend myself, they're going to throw me in a hospital or throw me in jail. And that's what the whole thing is, right? Turning people into Manchurian candidates or leading them into foxholes. But we are only wise because our Creator, our ancestors, because Jah looks out for me. And I'm very grateful. So on one hand, while I'm dealing with all this powerful information, on the other hand, I see how it was just trying to see how they meet together, you know what I'm saying? You can't change anyone else, you can only change yourself. And be real. Be real. So, I have my 17-year-old here. My 18-year-old already left. She ran. She ran away from the noise. The noise that I've been preparing to walk away from like a lady. And not knowing how to ask my own freaking community. Not knowing how to teach my own community how to see me. In a respectful way. In a way so that we will appreciate each other. Not on no low self-esteem stuff, no feel sorry for me-ish. But based on the merit of our work. What we do for the community. But it becomes tricky when you're a person who doesn't brag about the things that they do in private. When you don't go around bragging about people about the helpful things that you do. When you're not the kind of person that's egotistical and you got a whole team pushing your stuff. I said to myself, okay, Creator, I know, ancestors, that you're with me. The way that I will help keep myself humble, right? If a workman's worth his wages, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to let the people have to be able to see what's valuable. If it's valuable, they know what's freaking valuable, right? You know what's valuable. You know what you want. If they want it, they'll get it. So I waited. And what I saw was the way that our ancestors manifested in me was using me as a soundboard where I wasn't necessarily getting the credit. It was all happening behind the scenes where people would hear what I was saying and just naturally indoctrinated into what they were already learning and teaching, because I was already with a lot of teachers, master teachers, and serious scholars. Have been for years. With the best of you and the worst of you. My reflections. My casa su casa. I know who I am and what I am. I know what I came here to do. I came here to change. I'm happy to change. I can't get well if I don't know I'm sick. I'm happy to see my shadow. Hello. So, if this is a collaboration, consciousness in the consciousness field and grid, and the male and female principle is off, we have people without economy forced into a position of female submission, and they're angry. Energy never dies, it only transfers. We're clogged, we're angry, we're frustrated. We are ready to pop off on anything, including the ones we love, each other. We turn on each other. We hurt each other. Instead of valuing each other and sharing each other and praising each other and jubileeing each other. What? I rejoice in you. Because when I see you portray the message of this, I know that you saw something delicious, something desirable, something sweet and savory in me. You, the God self part, that took that beautiful piece that they told me to portray to you as a talking head, as a soundboard. And you said that part was okay. Although you didn't say yet, Regina's rabbit hole said it, or Regina said it. Okay? Or I just want to say hello or push the like button or share so that it helps my economy. So that this workman knows that she's worth her wages. As I love you, my casa su casa, we're sharing this energy and it's natural. I've been waiting because I don't know how to say. I never learned that part. But I did learn the part where I connect this way and I'm built in a certain particular way. I was a hermit at one point and wasn't even going outside of my house. I've made tremendous amount of progress. Tremendous amount of progress. Being empathic, highly empathic and clairvoyant, it's difficult for me to talk with people. This man and his strong personality that put a roof over my head and food in my mouth was in some way protecting me and guarding me against things that I wasn't ready for and didn't want. Growing up, realizing our worth. Okay? We're not supposed to see everything the same. There's no flow in that. And that's what I was saying. There is forces at bay that are doing everything that it can to keep itself in a position. Anybody without economy is being forced into a position of female submission. This is not good right now, as you can see. Being a woman or a child is probably one of the worst positions to be in on the planet. Abortion is one of the worst places to be. If you're in a black woman, they say, okay, we don't recognize our value. We don't recognize our value. This is a grave, grave, grave. Oh my gosh, it is just so... a tragedy. Tragedy, tragedy, tragedy. Reflections, you're so fucking beautiful. Oh my gosh, you're so freaking beautiful. You don't realize what you are yet. I didn't realize what I was. And then once you realize what you are, it doesn't mean anything in this world unless the person next to you knows you to have somebody to talk to about it, right? So we're in the process of building that peace. So you'll have your connection with your creator, but you may not be able to convey that part. It needs to be connected with source, and you are source, because this is the reality, how we move things together. The male and female principles and all the aspects of the zodiac and fire, water, earth, air, and ether. Okay? So each of us, each one teach one, each of us comes here to have their own experience. So we already know the male and female principle is off. And we already know economy is off. We already know that people are controlling economy. They control economy because it controls the thought process. It's a power in order to sway the people. You can keep them hungry. If you can sway whether they eat or not, whether they shine or not, then that's a lot of power. If you can control how we think. And so we have been dibbling and dabbling and learning in this new time now. You want to call it revelations, you want to call it ascension, you want to call it enlightenment, the age of enlightenment, whatever you want to call it, we're learning. We're keeping up with the age of technology. Like I said, they were wondering if we could keep up with this age because it was going to go so fast. And that was one of the biggest concerns, is whether we could comprehend, whether we could keep up, because energy never dies. It only transfers, and energy learning has a frequency and energetic potential. Not everybody can hold on to a flame or a concept. And that's why we're all built to be able to, to be able to hold down a certain aspect of this body that we call a society. We are a society and a culture. Each one teach one, each one play their part, each one has a dynamic, okay? Some of us pull from here, and other ones initiate and distribute. Other ones just teach, refine, find other aspects, build on. Okay? To appreciate one another. It works like a clock. Okay? Now, people who wanted that power while we were sleeping build systems in order to steal that. I don't have time to be quiet with my daughter rotting in a hospital right now with voice-to-skull technology being used against her. Still. Who's speaking for her if her mother doesn't? If her mother shuts down and can't speak for her own child? if the mothers, if it takes a village to raise a child, and culture is responsible, we're responsible for each other. If we've been walking around like children and we just woke up, we're responsible for each other. We're like a bunch of babies walking around. A child thinks they grown and will give the parent the lecture as if it can go out and earn its own income and pay the bills and drive the car. As if it can do all that. It's mimicking what it sees, its essence, really well. And it believes, and it is partially, in essence, that parent that it's emulating. But it's only emulating. It's only resounding. It's only a reflection. Still has its place and its benefits. That child needs to fill up with so many reflections of its parents that it turns that energy, that energetic potential. It has a potential to go out and manifest something greater. The child precedes the parent. Cultures and societies get better, are holistic. But we have a reversion going on. That's not what we have going on in our cultures. We have gatekeepers. We're using our idiosyncrasies, our diseases, our stuff against each other. Is power and control your addiction? Is alcohol your addiction? Is weed your addiction, and why? Marijuana is my thing because I have post-traumatic stress disorder. Because I deal with anxiety. And because I deal with a bad economy, still trying to figure out how to get the information that I know to match up with what I can afford to do for myself. Yeah, there's treatments, but they cost money. You know what I'm saying? More things that I could show you that the body can respond to. I don't have privy to be able to have access to them on a regular basis. Okay? So I had to find a way to ask. Had to find a way to prove my worth. And a place where women and the black community, black women without being under a certain dynamics are almost, you could almost say we're worth nothing. According to our programming. We're challenging the man. Good day, beloved. We're challenging the man by adding our 2 cents. He's down there raving right now. He's still screaming and yelling on the phone, talking with someone. I barely have anyone to talk to. I get yelled at if I talk to anyone because he's been taught to fear that I'm going to have sex with someone I speak to. Or that, you might, if it's a woman, there might start trouble or take me away from him somehow. His domineering concepts. And the ones that yell the loudest about being honest and not stealing and not screwing anybody are the ones doing it the most, I've noticed, in this community. But shh. Don't say that. Don't save your life. Don't point out the disease. You can say somebody has herpes, but you can't say that they're killing people with their ideas and thoughts. And that's what this is, the collaboration. We decide. We decide on what's valuable. We let niggas who don't know their nagas yet, don't know their value, keep us sick because it's popular. Because that's the standing program. We allow ourselves to police each other and keep out our finest minds, our different stuff, because it's different. You ain't acting like no near me. Get the fuck out of here. Excuse me. You ain't acting black enough. You're not acting dark enough. You're not keeping out the light enough. What? You're not playing your role enough. You're not playing your position. You don't have any value, nigga. Don't you know what this is? This is a curse. The white man is God. He got it on lockdown. And if you don't stick with this certain dynamics that we assigned for you as a woman, as a black woman, as a person with your economy, stay in your position. Using people like that, the Boulay loves, yummy, yummy, yummy. That is delicious. That will, you ain't got to give them no money. Just the fact that somebody's going to rise up and be able to be in the limelight to have an opinion and it ain't them. Murder. An alarm goes off. Why? It's not my job to fix it and put a Band-Aid on it and say, there now. You two are also valuable. It's okay. So just take it. I helped with this. I did most of the schoolwork for that master's. So I do know. Also, yeah, along with my sociology and anthropology and psychology and human behavior and occult systems and etymology and ciphering and dance and movement with body language. What? I also studied the human service field. Yeah, I did schoolwork. I don't do his job. I don't go in there every day and get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go dealing with a whole bunch of people that could really make you stressed out. Really make you disappointed in your peoples and peoples in general. But me understanding that, it doesn't make it my fault. Be the hope that you want to see. Let the light shine on me, that you see me for who I am. It's not my job to go pulling and tugging at someone else to change their opinion. I can only be a reflection of who I'm supposed to be. Who I'm supposed to be. I got to correct my own stuff. I got to find out a way to speak for my own doggone self. I got to find a way to deal with my own social dynamics. My own little maze and puzzle that I got going on. How does a person who not long ago transferred from being a hermit to going to college, to dealing with domestic violence, although it's not physical, it's spiritual, it's verbal, it's sexual, it's mental. I'm, for years, been overcoming, I don't know if you heard me say this, I'm a incest. One of the dynamics that I have is being an incest survivor. This is Regina's rabbit hole. I don't feel sorry for myself. That's one of the things that I'm here for, is these different dynamics. Sometimes I feel like there's way too many of them to explain. Why? Because they programmed in me that we're too doggone stupid to understand all these different freaking twists and turns and dynamics, or to even give a freak. We don't give a blip about each other. Turn on Wild Star. Let me see that fight again. Is that chick's teeth crooked? Her wig ain't new. Her nails ain't done. She ain't got my economy. What? She doesn't look the same way I do. If you're outside of the melanation. For whatever reasons we give ourselves as excuses to devalue each other. So what I learned, right, is about universal law and corresponding frequencies and stuff. And I learned that if I wanted to respect and love, that I couldn't just look for it. I had to be it. I had to be that frequency. So that's another freaking conundrum. While you're being the frequency and other people don't know you're being the frequency, and they've been taught to abuse the freebies. It's free. Give me all of them. You dumbass, you giving away free stuff? Give me this, give me this, give me this. You can get some free stuff from over there. They stupid. They got free stuff. It's good stuff too. Go over here and get it. Get that free stuff. Abuse it. Abuse it. So we go in other cultures that have dynamics where they have the little freebie stuff out of there, and they see you coming. Do you wonder why they take their fun-sized snacks away? They take their fun-sized snacks away from the gigantico monster that's afraid to share. But that confused me too, because that's the culture that steals every freaking thing. But they know it though. They're willing to share what they steal from us. What we devalue, they take and they cultivate it because they already have the venues for it. And then they use the other social dynamics and avenues for gatekeepers. Okay? Like the Ku Klux Klan has upgraded from how we upgraded from snail mail to Gmail to quantum D-wave computers, from technology has went very far. I was thinking of the handheld phones, you know, and the rotary to what we have now, right? All the progress. I'm looking for the phone and I'm talking on it. Making a whole freaking thingy here, huh? Technology. But we are also computers and technology, and we weren't taught that while we were sleeping. And so we make adjustments and we change. We must do this. We must change the flow and the currency. We must change our direction and our flow in order to make our currency. While we were sleeping, they had everything on lockdown, but now things are changing. We have cryptocurrency, okay? We have these new technologies that are being used against us. We have satellite brain reading technology. Brain reading technology. That means that copyright infringement is on a whole nother level. Okay? A whole nother level. That means that you no longer really have to worry about not having the finances to fight somebody in court because they stole your stuff. Because before you can even get it all the way typed out and edited and stuff like that, they're snatching your stuff off your computer with this new technology. Do you have the money for the new software and security systems that it's going to take to keep some of these nutballs out of your systems now that they've upgraded? What's not safe now that they've upgraded? What has the door wide freaking open if you have the knowledge to be able to see Big Mama's rear end hanging out? To exploit it. Because you know that's the honeypot. And the person next to you doesn't. While you were sleeping, they ran off with the booty. And so we're waking up, right? And we're learning all this stuff and we're upgrading. We have upgrades where we learned about the food and GMOs and the GEO code. We learned that food is important to our genetic structure. See how valuable that is? We learned about societies and the way the society moves and works and can equate society to the chakra system, to the universe, to, all this is ancient knowledges. There's nothing new under the sun, but yet we're still becoming reacquainted with it. Okay? And it has an energetic potential that's fire. It's finite. It's going to take a minute. Rock your boat. It rocks your boat. Whoa! What do you mean that was going on? Whoa! What do you mean you can do that? Whoa! What do you mean I'm made like that? Whoa! Whoa! What do you mean that's going on? I didn't know. Stuff coming out of the shadows into the light. Enlightening, the age of enlightenment. The age of technology. The age of us, our computer systems, figuring out that we are like a computer. And that we're going through upgrades, that we have the right to upgrade, that it's about free will, right? So energy never dies, it only transforms. And we have energy on this quantum field coming back into play. And so we're learning to appreciate each other and look at different ways of valuing each other. I shared this message earlier, and I thought I was talking for like at least an hour and a half. I was just going into all the little details and intricacies. And then I realized, and there was no sign at all that I was cut off. The new ways that they're using right now. I mean, it says live, and I see one, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm live, because it only taped me for 20 minutes, but I thought I was talking for an hour and a half. So added to that, on this part too, are the different dynamics and things like that that they're using to make it adversive for us to collaborate with one another. If we're building a society, a world, right? And this world is made up of words, and words are a light code frequency. A light code frequency is a thought, things that we could comprehend. It all starts with a thought. And we're like computers, each one teach one, each one resembling a zodiac sign, a piece, a cog in a wheel. What? We make the society, we make this thing turn. We do it. Coming into the knowledge, the recollection that we can do it is the freedom. That is the freedom of choice. Once you realize that things are energy, that we're changing this thing by co-signing certain ways that we think about each other. And that this is a spiral it's embedding. My casa su casa. If I say it's okay for you, then that means it's okay for me. Men are in a position of female submission. And why? Due to economy. What is being used to keep people in a position of making them bitch up? What's making us punk up? We gotta eat. It's the money. It's the money. It's the money. Gotta pay the rent. Gotta have clothes on the back. Gotta send the baby to school. What? We need shoes. Baby need Pampers. Chick want a Gucci bag. It ain't even that serious. We're just paying the rent here. We're just grinding. Trying to survive. Currency. Where do you go? You go to a job, and they got those frequencies that put money in your pocket for whatever it is that they established. That was economy. I bought this. Somebody made this. That means that somewhere there's a factory that made this. This is not even something that I absolutely freaking need. Something I wanted because I wanted it for my own particular reasons. And that's the way we build societies. You can get with this or you could get that. But the bare necessities, there's certain things that we need. We need to learn to value each other better. We need to fix that. That is hurting us. They're literally coming in because we're devaluing each other and taking our goodies and running off with it because we don't know what we have. We don't know what we are, but we're learning. And so now that we know what we are, it's making the proper spiritual adjustments here and tension. Okay? And here. We're capable because it started with us and it's going to end with us. And guess what? It doesn't end. It's quantum. It's quantum field. Okay? So sound frequency. The words build our worlds, and our worlds are us. Okay? You are what you eat, and we ingest things in many different ways. Okay? It's not just what we eat or drink. It's what we think and feel. It's the things we've been indoctrinated to. It's what's around us. As an incest survivor, as a person that comes from a home that's been hit hard with a lot of these social dynamics, these diseases, these things that cause discord, dis-ease in our spirits and our souls. My home, my vessel got hit with a lot of these dynamics, these things that kept us sick. There was a spiritual war initiated, and I didn't know who I was. I spent a lot of time working on discovering that. And I now know that I'm comprised of a collection of you. Okay, I'm a middle mini model or a reflection of you, depends on how you look at me. How I look at you depends on how I look at me. That's my responsibility. If I feel like a piece of ish, and when I get depressed, sometimes I do, you look a lot worse to me. Unless you're the other side of me and you're sharing that positive stuff. And then I feel better. So there's a space to be able to get with this or get with that. And I love that about us. Excuse me. About changing our current situation, changing our economy, changing our sociology. What we desire, what we're gravitated towards, like a moth to a flame, what, Janet? Burned by a fire. Our love, what we love, is what we gravitate towards too. Do you like to fight in a rumble? That personality type has been so misused and distorted because there was really no platform to be able to get a release from all that anger. Unless you want to turn in on yourself. And who better to do that with than your other half? Can't really go and attack what's really doing it, right? Because the way that you would do that is by changing your economy and the way that you look at things. That's the only way that you're going to change this situation. Fighting fire, with their kind of fire, ain't fire at all. Not the kind that's going to make movement when you realize with wisdom and strength what this world is comprised of. It's not just brute force. It's flexibility. It's being able to see ourselves for who we are. It is what it is. And we have men policing other men, not realizing how utterly ridiculous that they look. But because that's their design, check out human design, they can push other people with either their thoughts or their voice or their deeds. It's no different than saying that a particular astrological sign has abilities for something. Okay? And then you use the abilities and the strengths and stuff against what you deem as weak. And you use those social dynamics against the populace that's unaware that it's going on. And the person that's doing it, that's barking, that's full of power, the bully, is only concerned with that one particular thought, like a dog with a bone. The intellectual parts, the ins and outs, they care not of. They're just going to bark. Protect. Foaming and whatnot. And as long as that frequency has a corresponding frequency, they're going to harmony and jive with each other. There's somebody that told the men that they're not safe when women start talking, that women start organizing, when women sound intelligent, if she doesn't have just her butt hanging out, if she's not all garbed up and quiet, if she doesn't allow him to speak for her, if she wants to defend herself against injustices done to her, or her sisters, or her mother, if she has a voice, if she wants to say stop, no, don't. If that's not heard in her little quiet voice, with her little veil on, if you can't get with this, then something inside us says maybe you can get with that. Mother, The rage. When you hurt, you freaking yell, right? It's a response, a human response to pain. So some of us are not angry, we're just hurting. It's a response to pain. As a society, you can thank Dan Winters for this. I'm just looking at his research about fractality, right? And I deal with healing and dance and fields of energy, just looking at them, okay? Energy never dies, it only transfers. And he said that pain is a result of a break in fractality. For lack of better words, or just to make it short, pain is a breach in your fractal field. It's a breach in synchronicity. So where things are flowing, pain is where something comes in and sets it off, sets it discord. So the harmonics, you can look at that on so many different levels. Okay, the harmonics in the body, when they're thrown off, it causes pain. That's why there's like gated communities. They can keep the harmonics, they can keep the flow of their energy, the frequency that they would like. That's why environments that have sirens and noise and angry words and stupid people that say stupid things and angry things, ignorant things to each other, they become niggas. It becomes inverted and embedded in another direction. We're flushing each other down the toilet. And so the white man that we're taught to think so much about doesn't have to think about us at all, because we're doing the work for him. We're doing the work for him. He doesn't have to hurt us. We hurt ourselves. We turn it on ourselves because there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go because there's no flow. We didn't create the spaces. We didn't create the spaces because we won't allow any other energy that says, all right, now, we know where the pain is coming from. Let's fix it now. Let's heal the hole. Let's bring back some harmonics. No, we're all still yelling about the hole. There's the hole, there's a hole, there's a hole, there's a hole, there's a hole, there's the hole. It's the hole. Do you see the problem? There's so many freaking problems. We're all pointing to the problem. Did you see that freaking gaping hole? This is Regina's rabbit hole, by the way. Did you see that hole? Yeah, I saw the hole. Who caused the hole? It's the women who caused the hole. And the women are like, who caused the hole? It's the men who caused the hole. And then different groups are like, no, they did it. They caused the hole. Is anybody fixing the hole? Yo, that hole is kicking everybody's butt. Hello? Put your finger in the dike. Let's be honest. There's a problem with the male and female energy. It's off. Okay? We need to heal each other. Get a handle on things. Put our foot on it. Figure this out. And remember, I'm also your laughter facilitator. A much needed tool when dealing with buttholes. Since we're talking about holes. Okay? There are lots of tools that we can use. Well, we figure out this economy. Okay? We collaborate that. Okay? We build our world, what we say goes. We co-sign what we want to facilitate the dominant thought within our institutions. And right now, as we speak, we're not sleeping. While they were sleeping, we're making these moves. Getting ourselves together. Contemplating, positioning ourselves. Okay? It's perfect. It's not going to be without resistance. It's not going to be without people that don't want to take their medicine. If the Grand Ma is wisdom in regards to the female principle, Mayat. I equate it to when my grandma used to try to give me castor oil and I didn't want it. Bobo, how good that is for your body, right? And getting rid of a lot of parasites and things like that that we need. You know? And when you try to run away, how my grandpa, come back here, girl! His strong voice. It wasn't to hurt me. It was to get me to take the medicine. And so I did. And I may not have liked the initial sound or the initial having to take it. But once it was done, I received it and knew that it was beneficial for me. That's not what's happening with certain loud, thunderous tones and voices. They're counterproductive. That's a totally different thing from men that use their strength and their voice box to direct and steer things for the betterment of their people. And ones that get stuck in the hype. There's a playbook that is being used by gatekeepers against good men, for lack of better words. Okay, if there's no right or wrong or good or bad and all that kind of stuff, please don't go into that right now. I mean mutually beneficial. If there's men that are wise enough to initiate what is mutually beneficial, those men have the male and female principle. Those men are the ones changing the frequency within the matrix, and so they have resistance. And when you have resistance, it's not so easy to change things because a wise person realizes that you need others in order to change the social dynamics, right? So we need each other. Can't do it by yourself. And if you're one person and 19 people or even 18 people around you are ignorant, then it's just the two or one of you who know what's going on. And that's not very helpful until you learn how to get that computer to initiate the program, to receive the information. And their as, their das, their crystal, their water, right? Whatever it is inside of us, the intention that wants to receive the information. So frequency and vibration is a very big part of us. Okay? Our economy is a very big part of us. Makes or breaks us, whether we sink or swim. Remember Wall Street. Okay, so during this time right now, we're changing so many things. And we've been behind the 8 ball. Behind the 8 ball. For so long. And thank goodness that this is a time of change. But we have to initiate it. We have to take the responsibility for it. We have to claim it. Okay? We have to recognize what it is. In order to have value, you have to know that it's valuable. Okay? In order to get well, you have to know that you're sick. To admit it. These gatekeepers have had an economy already established and set up, and they don't want to let that go while we're changing things. That's why the resistance is there. It's money. Okay? Like I said, the men have been forced into a position of female submission. But if it's the female principle that brings in the creative energy, right, that allows you to make that flux, that change, and you have people blocking it, playing on that dynamic of using the weakness of men to not want to appear feminine, to use that ignorant part of ourselves, that the snake that eats itself, that part of ourselves that's sick, that feeds on power, that's addicted to that imagery. That's not good for us. It's not good for us. A strong man is a strong man, and you ain't gonna freaking change that. And it takes work to challenge counterproductive ideas and stuff, right? It takes work. It takes effort, and it can be very frustrating. So a lot of times that's not getting done When somebody starts barking and yelling, it's just easier to back down. That's the bully, right? So anyway, sound and frequency makes up our environment. So it's not just what we're eating. With a genetic code frequency, there's difference between organic and GMOs and how that affects our bodies, or what we're eating to help with our nerves and stuff like that, to help us become better people. What they're putting in foods to actually set people up, like say McDonald's, and what am I hearing about microfibers and stuff like that. Okay, nanotechnology, all this different stuff that is being created and used right now while we were sleeping. Technology has grown to be a monster and is a leading edge right now. So we have voice to skull technology, satellite brain reading technology, people who know how to sway the social dynamics to pit those who have weaknesses and jealousies against one another and make sure that they get paid for it so that it's an extra glue on it. We got them playing with all kinds of dynamics when we try to share stuff, when we try to collaborate. They're shutting us down. Your internet is falling, is going off. They got the AI weaponized against the medicine for us to set up our own economy. These gatekeepers need to keep the upper hand as if they have all the answers. There's no happy medium. See, in order to get well, you have to admit you're sick, right? And if we know they're sick, you're not going to want to spend the money in these different systems. You're not going to want to go to the doctors. You're going to use a different venue, a different avenue. This is the breakdown of the ideas. It all starts with a thought, right? When we set up these different systems and stuff, and that becomes our economy. So we stop trusting those things and we start using other avenues. Well, as soon as they find out water technology and that, okay, more than 2 people believe in that now, and there's an economy for that, jump on it. There's an economy for voice to skull technology, programming people to hear voices, and then what happens to them? Who cares if they end up in the hospital or jail or kill somebody, turn into MK patients? Who cares what they're doing with them? Make the money. They ain't no different than the pusher on the street who sells the drug and says, who cares what happens once I'm gone? I don't know who they're giving it to or where they came from or what the heck is happening. Get money. Get money. Ignorance. Niggers. And that word nigger does not by far only apply to black people. It means ignorant. It means stupid. There's a lot of freaking stupid people. People who would make themselves sick just to save their own face. That's ignorant. So we have a lot of ignorance going on. So when they catch on that something is going to switch up and they want to keep that economy, they want to keep that disposition that they know all, that they know all be all of our society, and that's what we co-sign as distributors, distributors. The go-to guys for what we need. The grocery store has the things that we want. That's why they provide it. They know we want that stuff, so they provide it. That's how they make their economy. They also reinforce it by giving us messages and commercials and stuff to make us want to go get it. It's not any different when it comes to what they want as far as the male and female principle to look like in society too. Whether they want people to get along with each other or not. It's by design. Okay? Did you ever wonder why in this melting pot with so many different cultures, how we're not steered really toward getting to know each other? What, one day? International Day where you share foods and go away. So the idea of people coming to this country with already preconceived notions because of the propaganda that's we ourselves are indoctrinated into, in regards to the images and stuff in the media. So all these things are changing because we're talking about it right now. It's the age of enlightenment. We're changing things. The current is changing. Our movies are changing. Our music is changing. Our medical is changing. Our technology is changing. We learned that sound is very important. And so we're moving from the hack jobs and stuff that we see being done with surgery right now into a whole nother set. You see, I was looking at a video yesterday where this doctor was doing surgery now, you know, with the computers, the laser surgery. He was peeling a grape. Old research. He was peeling a grape with a computer. What are they doing now? I said nanotech, right? Did I say nano? Yeah, nanotech. Little microscopic little things that can actually go into your body and bore a hole. Okay? Once they let us know about the technology, they already upgraded it and it's in use. And they give it to us for toys. Whether it's just to contemplate it or to play with it. Like you could see yourself from the front porch on using a satellite. You can go on your computer right now and see your house. You put in your address and stuff, and you go on Google Maps and stuff. Okay? So, you got to give me a minute. I really need to pee. But I don't want to leave this part out, okay? Give me 3 minutes, okay? Oh. That's just the radio.
The River 1059. The classics play here.
Okay. That feels much... It came back on by itself. Okay, so that felt good. That feels better. Okay, I was at frequency and vibration, right? Yes, much love, family. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your time with me, learning with me, changing the consciousness grid, changing our world one mind at a time. Because it's amazing, it's a maze, it's a maze. How many different aspects that we have to go through. No wonder they said we might not make it. Because there's a lot of different facets and stuff to this. Which is the reason why, you know, I'm always looking. That's just my design. But I was called to do. It's just my design. It's who I am. Okay? Frequency. Music. Okay. Check out Dr. Moto's research. Okay? If sound can affect us. Sound does affect us, okay? You can tell a water crystal, piece of water module, I love you, and freeze it, and it will turn into a crystal that's beautiful, and it has harmonics that are therapeutic. You can actually send frequency into water and program the water. They're, like I said, while we were sleeping, technology is going so fast now. They already given information into water and use it for soldiers where you can get your freaking mission. Yeah, that's an actual freaking technology. What? Yeah, it's not a conspiracy. It's an actual technology where people are drinking informations and stuff from water. They learned that you can hide so much information inside water, and doing leading edge research on exactly what is water, what is it. It's so freaking magic. We didn't know this stuff that's been right in front of our face did all this stuff. Are you serious? So energy never dies, it only transfers, and it's implosion. In the same way we turn on each other and we make each other sick, and sick people hurt people hurt people. Okay? If you want to admit you're sick, you can't get well. And if these gatekeepers are gatekeepers, they've been taught by design that they have to save face and cannot admit that they're sick. And so what they're doing is through the back door, upgrading their systems using our information. That's what they're doing with your information and stuff on the internet. Is picking the minds and talents, the people with the abilities and stuff that they like. And like kids in a candy store, these monsters are having their fill and taking what they need. And while you don't have the economy or the common sense to organize, because of the different dynamics and stuff that we're going through while we're waking up and changing as a society and a community, as men and women, individually and as a community, we have a lot of things to turn and move and change. So we're busy. Even if we're busy in a productive direction, we're busy. Distracted with either learning or declining. Okay, heading in one direction or the other. But now it goes from the learning into initiation. From being initiated into being the people who learned enough stuff to change society. The initiated, initiating what they learned, the solution. And all you're getting, get understanding, right? A workman's worth his wages. What you're doing, the current, the reverberation, even if you're not getting money, the currency from what you're doing should make waves and ripples. And so I did see that. I saw that in us. I saw how we duplicate what we like, what we think is good and delicious, in the same way that we do on the negative side, and duplicate what it is that we think is wretched and we don't like. So this energy is just like fabulous because we can go in one direction or the other. We're choosing to be the hope that we want to see and make these venues and stuff. But keep in mind that there's a whole system. This stuff is not in your head, and there's a lot of different aspects and venues to it. While you were sleeping, they had it on lockdown, and they want to keep it. It was delicious. It was vampiric. It was power and control. What? It's like a freaking Fat Boy and Twinkies late at night when those little parasites start wiggling around and you really want that freaking sweet snack. What? 1, 2 in the morning? Nah, maybe. When does it get you? When does that hunger for the freaking sweet thing get you? 12:31 in the morning, right? Okay? So they're like the fat boy with the Twinkies, you know? And I can say that because I was the fat boy with the Twinkies. I was 287 pounds. I was all broken up. I thought it was all over. But I trusted in our ancestors and in our Creator. I trusted in the energies that serve us every day. Embedding that we overlook and that we misuse and that we take for granted. In the same way that we do one another. And from there, I was able to see other layers of embedding. And the way that I did that to myself. And the way that if I wanted to be the hope that I wanted to see, I would have to change that into myself so that I could catch the corresponding frequency. And then it gets tricky. If people need to recognize the value on their own and they haven't been taught. But now how the freak we do that? It takes effort. It took a lot of effort to get us sick. It took a lot of effort to make us think so foolishly about one another. So hateful, so empty. To become so void. And so it's going to take effort to swing us in the other direction. We're hurt people hurting people. We've been sick. But those of us who admit that we're sick can get well. And can be the hope that we want to see and actually push away this undesirable energy that we no longer need. But we have to first admit that we need help. And be real about who we are. How does a woman speak up for herself? You're not supposed to talk about your personal business. That's wrong as a woman. A black woman, oh, you better watch your step if you want to be a professional. Better watch your step. You already have a past, girl. What? You already got a past. What? And you old too? What? And what? You ain't got your own money? What? And what? Oh, you can just sit down and forget about it. There's nothing for you here. We have this looking exactly the way that we like it to look when our people come up and show us something. Stay in a woman's place. I say much love to you. Stay in a woman's place. Shut up, sit down. You have nothing to contribute. So the men, that being all that they have, like a fat boy in a candy store, that little bit of power, being able to keep somebody from something. The dynamics of any gatekeeper, those particular types. I am not a man basher at all. I love, on the contrary, to see the men that I deem, fantastical in the way they interact with their families and wives and stuff. I had to find a way to keep hope. Just because I ain't got it don't mean it don't exist. That's ignorance. I see it exists, and I don't have to be jealous of it. I can be fond of it. I can thank the Creator that it exists, knowing that your frequency, that your ripple, that your aura is actually making our world a better place. Not everybody is like me, but my aura is making the world a better place. Each one teach one. We all have our own thing to contribute. So learning how to not kick out of my ball field the very things that I wanted for myself just because I didn't have them or didn't see them didn't mean that they didn't exist or that I shouldn't have them around me because I wasn't privy to them. Like the ability for our health. We're learning a lot about our health and frequency and words. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. What do we know about words and worlds? Why is that one of the most dominant freaking sayings? And a world built with words, grammar and glamour and grammar? Come on now. Stop playing. Words can hurt. They're built to last. Especially when you add in the research about sound and noise technology. Okay? And so that leads us to healing and how everything's changing and how those who run societies, the gatekeepers and stuff, the ones making that money now. We pay good money to go to colleges and places because we know there is a investment in holding up these institutions, right? And co-signing these institutions to give us more of what we want. We want more doctors, and we want more lawyers, and we want more senators, and we want more people who can plant food, and we want more people who can run machines, and we want more writers, and we want more teachers, and we want more of whatever it is that we have, that we duplicate in these colleges and institutions. We want more. And that's why we have these different curriculums set up so that we could put more of those people back into our society. See, we expect that. We plan that. We're safe with that. We're good with that. That's good. We're used to that. We've been indoctrinated to that. And that's the way that we know. It's familiar. We know familiar, family, love, the words. Thinking of Spanish, familiar, family, love, community. We're used to that. Playing on words and playing on things that should mean and feel a certain way inside. Only that's not the way that we were feeling. And these words had an opposite meaning. Okay? So we're changing our dynamics in the way that we look at each other, and it's okay. It's nothing to be ashamed of. I'll tell you who is ashamed. Those people that you see with their pants down, that we couldn't see before. It's like in that show, They Live, in that movie. They're not going to go without a fight, and they're going to keep screaming and yelling the same rhetoric that put them in the safe, sweet spot before, when we were stupid, while we were sleeping, while we wanted to hear that bull and could not see. But we can see now. And sometimes it freaking hurts when you realize what you've been listening to that sounded normal and okay. When the lights come on, you be like, oh my gosh, that's my monster? I've been co-signing that ish? I had no idea. Over and over and over again. On the same freaking material, the lights can come on different segments of the same freaking material. The dynamics to this waking up and contributing is so awesome. I can listen to the same video over and over and over again and find different parts and different dynamics that feed me or repulse me depending on how I'm feeling. It's that real. Words and ripple and environment and sound. Okay? So, one of the new technologies is sound, and that sound is healing. Remember Star Trek, where they had the machine that they would put over the person's body, and then the doc would complain about, watching the way that we hack each other up, taking out livers and spleens and, all the different stuff, learning the new technology about harmonics, okay, and corresponding frequencies, okay, and that's why hurt people, because their frequency is off. Be the hope that you want to see. But you can't be the frequency that you want to see if you haven't had privy to match the frequency yet. You can't be what you're not. That's fake. You can mimic and you can fake that frequency, but you can't be it if you don't have a model. I hope that makes sense. Okay. I did say about the research with Dan Winters and what he was saying about fractality and pain. So as a community, we're in pain. We're a body, right, as a community. And we've been hit, we're in pain. So if pain is a result of loss of the plasma field, loss of fractality, the loss of harmonics, if energy never dies and only transfers, there's implosion. Hurt people hurt people. Addiction. is a sign of lack of liberation according to universal law. That's according to universal law, not what man watered it down to be, but according to universal law. Addiction is a sign of lack of liberation. And a lack of liberation is a sign of no flow. They got the goodies, they got the currency blocked up. What makes our currency? Our ideas are lucrative, our talents and abilities. What they say in the Bible about how when the master or when God came and the people with the talents, the story of the people with the talents, I loved that story about how one man buried his because he was afraid that he would lose the little bit that he had. He buried it, afraid to use it. Another one took his talents and abilities and multiplied it a whole bunch. And another one did, there was percentages. One did it big. The other one did it a little medium. It was like the Three Little Bears. And the other one took his and freaking hit it. He was afraid to make moves with what God gave him. He was afraid of the opposing opinion. He was afraid of the consequences. The Creator gave him a light to shine. The essence, if you have the essence of the Creator, you don't freaking hide it. They didn't give it to you to hide. If you are the essence of the Creator and you're claiming that you are, and you have something that belongs to our Creator, you call it Jah or whatever name that you want to use, you better pull it out because they sure do. You better whip it out and you better use it with all intention toward changing things for everybody in a way that's mutually beneficial. Can you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? Sound and frequency, healing words. Love on you. Hey, cuz. Love you, love you. Okay. So, they're using this voice to skull technology and the gang stalking as a means to control people that are able to change certain social dynamics, right? And they're slowing them down because on the other hand, they also have satellite brain reading technology. All this stuff you can look up on your own and do your own research. It's here. We're not in Kansas anymore. While we were sleeping, this whole world changed. The freaking hoverboard is live. Things are different. Our comprehension of things needs to change. Water is air. It's another aspect and dimension. It's alchemy. It shifts. In the same way that something could be mutually beneficial or counterproductive. The embedding and the opposing ways that energy transmutes itself, shows itself, that it's a living thing. Being able to share the different dynamics and attributes of what we learn and the way that the practical application of it is vitally important right now. This is already being done, like I said. They take your little ideas and stuff from the algorithms and the posts and following you around and all this other stuff from the many different dimensions of being us. When we're not yelling and screaming at each other and being counterproductive and stopping each other because of ego. Where did all this freaking hate come from? Man, and then to justify that mess too. And listen, he got all the people in the world to be able to listen to that mess. And how did I end up in a place where I had no one? Where if I pick up the phone, I get yelled and screamed at and told that I'm out of place for sharing my pain or trying to find a solution. And trying to find a way to adjust that for what my needs are. They say a closed mouth don't get fed. But that's not true because I have been asking in different ways. I was just trying to find ways to ask better and do it to where we were understanding each other. My asking would never be for someone who doesn't believe in what I believe in. And, you know, some of us, yeah, a lot of us are probably standing and living right next to people, whether it's the societies that we're in, it's the same dynamics, or whether it's the people that we sleep with, or family members, or the institutions we work in. May not agree with what we're doing, but it needs to be done. Yes, it's layers. It's layers. And we're responsible for that. Be the hope you want to see. Stand your square. Nobody's responsible for you, right? But a workman is worth their, their wages. And how do you get your worth when you don't tell anybody what you're doing and what your worth is, or you're not programmed to do that? You know what I'm saying? That I made a deal, you know what I'm saying, with the universe that I would do what they asked me to. And I would accept displaying the blessings. But only if I didn't get to brag on myself about it, because it's uncomfortable for me. Being an empath. And I'm learning, I haven't been brought up in a community where I knew myself as a spiritual being. I had to learn all these things myself. I was actually hospitalized and went through the whole gamut that they do with people like us. They had me believing that I was crazy, that I was bad. He tells me I'm a witch. There's a lot of different dynamics to Regina's rabbit hole. So, trying to figure out a way to balance my energy with all these other aspects has been really interesting. While fighting this freaking ghost by myself, these gang stalkers and stuff, that when I did leave and I went to the shelters and stuff, I ended up getting kicked out. There was this other hidden hand there. It's meant to be there to isolate you. It's been lonely. It's been frustrating. Not knowing who I could trust and who legitimately just to stay away from. Not out of fear, because I didn't want to be overwhelmed with feelings and emotions, because I'm empathic. Or deal with post-traumatic stress disorder. But just trying to find out where I will be safe and valued, where people won't try to take advantage of me. A lot of the women, frankly, are jealous, or they don't have the economy. We don't know how to reach out. And the men didn't offer any economy or safe haven without trying to put me in their bed. That's not going to work for me, Once I leave this abusive situation, I never want to see another one. And I don't want to get thrown out of another woman's shelter because somebody there is being paid by the government to, with this gang stalking stuff. It's really been crazy. So hopefully you have eyes to see and ears to hear and a heart to feel. Much love to you and yours. Oh, that's what I wanted to say. I can't leave this out. This is me in another aspect. Music. Some of you saw my video that I did on carbon. I put in, you know, how we are carbon, right? Bami Hemmett did this video where he talks about dark energy, you know, dark matter, okay? It's sad-ish. Yes, brother, it's sad. But I have faith in us. I had to keep telling myself, if I'm real, if I'm freaking real, then that would be egotistical to say that other people like me don't exist. So I just had to find a way to freaking meet myself and trust myself and put myself out there. I know I'm freaking real, and if I had it, I would give it. If the situation was right and it was meant to be, it would be done. That's what I do. What I have or don't have at the moment is not really entirely my fault, but we're working on it and continue to work on it. Continue to work on finding a way to talk to myself, and that's you. If I value me, and if I value you, and we're reflections, then we already did half the work. We just got to figure out how to make it work for each other. So I refuse to believe that I'm not worth freaking $5 for my Patreon for dance or a donation. Yeah, these weird messages and stuff. Like, I would do stuff and like nobody would buy my stuff at all. Nothing. But I would see the silliest dumb stuff be bought up and praised. Or nobody liked or reposted my particular message on a particular thing. But somebody that already had a whole bunch of viewers and had the monies to have, you know, all the graphics and the music, and you know, they had this big following. They could take a segment of something that I said and turn it out. And there was times when, or there are times when it's really special and sacred, when I just have to sit with our Creator. Say, you taught me that. That came from a lot of pain or research or insight or reflection. And I was able to move past me being a hermit and move past me post-traumatic stress disorder and anxiety with the cameras and being, I was able to move past all that. The stuff that they're doing to distract me and scramble my brain with the voice to skull technology and the freaking smart meter and all this other crap that they put in my way, and freaking enemy in my bed and all that. Who do I go to for help? Messing with my freaking meetings, my self-help place that I went to try to keep it together. The only place I had to get one freaking hug or to have some place to talk to. They're going to mess with the traditions and stuff of AA, with the principles and stuff. Who you hear here, what you hear here, let it stay here. Here. Not with the gang stalkers. When I went to the gym, they knew whether I was wearing panties or not, whether that was my choice, okay? Knowing what's going on, knowing these people seeing what's going on. That's why, yo, if you want me, you want my respect and me to respect these venues, if you're watching, why are you just watching? So you've gotten sick too. Where you'll sit around and watch, knowing that you have the abilities to influence and say things and do things. So you say hurtful little side things, right? With the street performancing and stuff. They love their job, these gang stalkers. And you have to be careful. You have to watch the technology. There's one dude that I really like to hear his information on YouTube. I forget his name off the top of my head. But he talks about the parasite that is part of the quantum D-Waves computer, a part of the satellite. You are radioactive, puppeteered. So that aspect of it, he's the technology and stuff, that he's a programmer. He's learning, program. He thinks in a particular way where he's onto the programming. And so he has very insightful. But you got to watch DMK because they can get in there with the voice and skull technology. And if you don't know yourself, you don't know the difference between their voice and your own voice. You'd have to have spent time with your own voice, knowing yourself, knowing where you're sick and where you want to get well. knowing where your weaknesses are, and what's you and what's not. If you're not willing to be sick, you can't be well. You can't be a representative of well. If you can't allow yourself to be sick, you're already freaking sick because you've got the sickness of ego. You're saving your face. So you're willing to let everybody be sick and to continue to be sick so you can look good, so you can make money, so you can hold your position. And you'll flush everybody down with you. So if that system's supposed to be even feeding your child, right? That you know the educational system is screwed up. You're not going to change it. You're just going to sit there and be a gatekeeper in it. Keep doing the same crap over and over again. You're going to send your child to the private school or to a school you know is trying to counteract that. While you sit there and be a teacher or an advocate for some foolishness for somebody else's child, expecting for that energy never to touch you. As long as you can keep staying afloat, making that money, you're going to be clear of it. So you live in your gated communities. You stick your label, your badge on your chest, call yourself bougie, or right wing, or left wing, or a Mason, or a Templar, or a feminist, or whatever, a Christian, or a Muslim. You can call yourself whatever you want from whatever faction. They all freaking need help and redesigning. Okay? And the music industry is one of those forces. Now, we know for a long time the music industry, they slaved these people out, right? And right now they're being used as spokespeople because now that we're aware that these people are being used, we're consciously aware that they're being used unconsciously to affect us because they're icons and the way they affect. You know what I'm saying? We even know the science and the alchemy of the stuff. Okay, when I look at this person, it does this to me. And I say, yeah. When you look at me, it does this to you. And so you want me to do this to you. And so now I'm going to talk about the good stuff, the stuff, I'm going to put myself in another arena. I'm going to be your spokesperson. I'm no longer going to rap to you about hoes and booties and stuff. And I thank God for this. Thank God for this metal. For the song, Kiss My Booty Hole. Praise God. In God we trust. They don't see it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. In God we trust. My hopes and dreams. Do we realize what we're saying? Paper and ideas are built on papyrus, paper. Our air comes out of our mouth. We have a symbiotic relationship with the trees and the air, and air is water, okay? This is stuff that we're made of. So just like with everything else, we're bypassing what we're made of, what nurtures us, to pay attention to some other ish that has nothing to do with anything that's going to help us to build our world and make it different. Yes, they want to continue to hold their influences. Okay? Hurt people, and sick people make other people sick. What? If you can't admit that you're sick, you sure enough ain't well. If you have a teacher that's got it all together and they can't fart or spell anything, they can't do anything wrong, or they would totally freaking fall apart before you, run. It's not real. That person is very, 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 very sick. Okay, that's what's wrong with our old system is that, you know, having everything staged for this play, for your optimal performance, right? And your pleasure was maximal important. So the music and the influence of the music is one of those things that we learned about. And so they had these artists and stuff enslaved, right? These actors and the singers, okay? Musicians. And they had us enslaved. This is a big part of our world, the sound. What? That's why I went into Dr. Moto and how we're water and how if you can program water with sound, and we're mostly made of water, Okay? There's everything telling us that we're crystals and that we're carbon-based. We're organic crystals. We hold in information. We work like computers. Catch up. Why don't you already? Okay? To those people in the educational system that are teaching our children. And so basically, it was like we watched how the music industry in Hollywood and hear stories about how they're ripping people off, right? How they're doing people, how they're ripping people off for their music, how they pimp people out and all that kind of stuff, right? And so they've been on their own battle. These are freaking avatars that have freaking thousands and millions of people following them. They are responsible for swaying a big payload of consciousness on our grid, right? So their voice reaches a lot of people around the planet. And they were getting on the front line of consciousness, for better or worse. They were getting it. They were getting hurt. They were getting misused and stuff. And so in a world where they knew about occult systems already, and a lot of this black magic and ritual stuff, they've already been fighting. They already knew about swaying attentions in the consciousness grid and stuff. Probably knew a lot of them a lot more than we know. Hence, they become our spokespeople and our leaders and our freaking senators and stuff. Freaking Arnold Schwarzenegger. A lot of these people that were in the movies and stuff, sometimes they end up coming governors and senators and freaking important people that we want to listen to. That we tell our children we're proud to have them as our spokespeople. Are we? Or is that the indoctrination? We're taught to be proud to have them as our spokespeople. Anyway, they won this battle, right? So we see the copyright stuff coming up with the music and stuff like that. They're in a position now where they're being looked at in a different way. Things are changing. The economy is changing. You got this cryptocurrency war. And people have finally got their hands on money in another way to change the system. These fallen angels, these muses, these benefactors, these people who affect us, who influence us, these musicians, these muses, right? These creative, these artists, these people who help us initiate ideas that program our behavior and the way that we look at each other into society. Is she a big beauty hoe? Or is she a loving, valuable contributor to society? Is she multifaceted and very useful? Or is she one-dimensional and disposable? Is she somebody else's interpretation of beauty? Or is she yours? Is it okay to have a different interpretation of that? Absolutely. Can you flow? Can you take the embedding? Can you take the heat of the energetic potential of ideas and thoughts? It's important for us as a culture. And so these musicians and these artists and stuff, they're at the front and up and running during this time of change to be able to do that. Okay? Need to do that. In order to get that done, you have to use them because we work like a computer. We've been working as a computer. Quantum D-Wave's computer is just an upgrade to the already present systems that were already here. And so we're catching up, right? It's like the difference between snail mail and email, right? Or better yet, quantum mail. Ancestral mail. You have mail. I do have mail. I'm so full of information right now. Yes, I do have mail. I value that I too have mail. Not just the Indian or the Buddhists from across the world, way over there. No, not just from them, but from me, from my essence, from my bloodline, okay? And so this music, also in Fronting Edge, knowing that music and sound affects the body, is very important when it comes to healing right now, in the forefront of leading edge technology and changing our healing frequencies and vibrations and stuff like that. What? So when it comes to changing our communities like Black Wall Street, right? Like the essence of all the stuff that they're using now is built on old systems that they stole, whitewashed, hid, and then regurgitated back to us without the spirit that was attached to it. Because when you reject the initiator of where it came from, how are you going to reject the essence of where what you're using is coming from? That's like the knuckleheads who, man, we do it all the time, right? Take the skin and just kill the animal, throw the insides away, right? Even the Indians knew to use the whole buffalo until the white man came and just took the coat. Wear the coat, and who cares about the carcass, right? Take the aphrodisiac, take the ivory, take the horns. This is the mentality, okay? So music is now a leading edge when it comes to healing. And all these different technologies and stuff. We need to be careful now. And what we're building should be for things to help us survive, to counteract the cell towers and the noise frequency and all the things that we know now that hurt us. Okay? To continue to build on the technologies that will keep us healthy and safe. Safeguarding our communities. Perhaps we can't afford their idea of the gate community, but can put our knowledge of the different technologies together to safeguard our community with the technologies and stuff that we're learning through the advancement. The advancement, they're trying to get a jump off and sell it back to us like they did everything else. Grab it, snatch it, value it, keep us fighting each other, and then repackage it and sell it back to us while we were sleeping, while we were fighting, while we were devaluing each other and didn't realize that it came from us. Yeah, it's in the grocery store, or it's in Walmart. It's on television. Wasn't that your idea? Wasn't that something that you said was not valuable? Now it's valuable because they have it and they repackaged it and it looks good. And they have the large media population already there. They already got over 1 million. They already got 5 million. Thousands of viewers. An influential audience. Because they already decided to play ball. So they were trusted with that. And so, with that, to commemorate and congratulate those that are actually moving away from the bullcrap, that are in those venues. Because there are those too. They're being copied. There are ones that stepped away and will pay the consequence for turning on that side that was feeding on us, because they decided to be the hope that they wanted to see. Instead of continuing to say that there's no hope, you might as well join the dark side. Still want to eat, right? So for those that turned away, they still have to pay. And they will be alone, just like I've been alone, just like you felt alone, just like we felt alone within our own cultures and societies, because we haven't been indoctrinated. We're just starting to be able to be privy to what it feels like and how important it is to have that togetherness. What does that mean for us? But we have to realize that we're sick before we could try to make ourselves well. You know? Not admitting that we didn't have enough time to heal after slavery is not, that wasn't enough. Okay. All right, so basically that.
Still talking to motherfucking niggas up there, huh?
Wow.
You got to fucking go. With that bullshit you doing up there, your motherfucking ass got to go. That shit ain't gonna fly. And if somebody gonna get hurt, get your shit and go. Now you better cut that motherfucking shit. Motherfucking right now it's gonna be a fucking major problem.
Why doesn't she get stuff done?
If you with this shit, you're gonna catch a motherfucking issue. Trust and believe that shit. Take that shit out of 41 New Avenue. And your ass gotta motherfucking go with that bullshit. I ain't flying that shit no more. Put a lock in that motherfucking door and your ass got to go. With your community.
A 20-year marriage. I pay rent. And they're so insecure with themselves.
You got to motherfucking go.
They be
Now you better cut the motherfucking shit before I take that shit and throw it on the fucking car.
policing my movements around the house, and the distortion has gotten so bad that he doesn't even care to hide it right now. Because, why? Because this is the norm for many men, is to behave like this. And I'm supposed to believe that I'm a problem right now and that I'm misbehaving. Yeah, I've been dealing with those dynamics for a long time now, and that's why you don't see me Gucci, okay? That's why you don't see me with all that stuff, that material stuff that you guys value so much, as dealing with these dynamics. I'm going to get my message out and be there for you while dealing with this too by myself. So it's time to leave this and get to the place where I actually have a community, where I'm around people that actually appreciate me and respect me, and I them. I can't respect this. And so then when I leave, because I'm told to leave because I'm abused, he tells people that I left. So he has support within his lies and his own demented thinking from other men. What have I done as a woman? Have I disrespected him? Have I done anything that he didn't push on himself? Men have been pushed into a position of female submission because of lack of economy. As a workman, if I went bragging about my wages, a workman is worth his wages. If I've been bragging about my work, instead of just doing the will of our Creator, keeping it quiet on the low, letting myself develop as a person, my character, fixing the things that I want to, being the hope that I want to see, doing the best that I can with what I have, standing on my square, and trying to work out these different dynamics to being seen in public as a woman, and the different, you know what I'm saying, and the respect of a community and what you have to go through to get that. What community am I looking for? How will they respect me? Will they be the ones to see through the bull crap? Or I love real men, strong men, but ones that make sense, that are helping our communities, that have the wisdom of flexibility and are not gatekeepers for keeping us sick. You know, this is not unusual. It's just embarrassing. I just let it happen and didn't hide it. Didn't cut the camera off. You know, he was pushing it, so must be getting close to somewhere. I have a lot more interference. I notice we all have a lot more interference, so something must be breaking. I do what I do for my sisters, for my mother, for my daughters. For my brothers, that I am very proud of when I see you standing strong. When I see you shine up your queen. when she's not afraid to love others outside of herself because you guys have that kind of trust. That's powerful. Man, that's powerful. To know what you have and to value what you have and to not be afraid to let something else around that and to share that because you know who you are and what you have and the value of you. Collaboration. So look at the different dynamics, okay? Society, I did a lot of different metaphors here. You can get a lot out of this freaking session. This was definitely the ancestors designed this one. Okay? This is Regina's rabbit hole. You got human trafficking for the targeted individual part. Okay? And the stifling of my gifts and stuff by throwing me in the hospital and trying to make me think that I was crazy and stuff when I was younger. And me making my way out of all that to tell you, being an incest survivor, having my body broken and being sick, where I was 287 pounds. I had partial facial paralysis. I walked with a cane, with a walker. I was on a whole bunch of different medications and overcame that. They gave me health. You see me dancing. You see my qigong, and I share that with you. Had a lot of different things that you were looking at. Overcoming addiction. Trying to find a home and a place to meet like-minded people. People that are not full of crap. You're not sleeping with me. You're sleeping with me. But everything that is me. I gave you everything I've got. I give you the best part of me. As you heard, I gotta let that nasty man touch me because I made a decision over 20 years ago to make that my mate. I didn't prepare for the future. I wanted desperately to respect him and to love him because I would assume that that's what women want for their mate, right? Somebody to trust, to love, to freaking hug and cuddle and cook, and somebody to be happy about your foods and your dancing and the way that you look and your touching. I don't get held. He's been on the sofa for 8 years. On the sofa for 8 years. I don't get hugs. I don't get compliments. I don't get taken out. Oh, occasionally I'll get taken to the regular food places to eat. He doesn't initiate himself with economy. And when he doesn't have the ability to make moves, right? He blames me and then shuts my ability to make moves and share the essence of what the Creator gave me with other people. Tries to shut that down and feels intimidated. Now all of a sudden I'm a woman that's not in my place and I'm being accused of doing all these things that's of low character. And then he'll call other people up and literally lie on me. And between the lying and me adjusting to not having the tenderness or a reliable partner or somebody to push this stuff I've been doing years, no help. I've had plenty of help. My Creator has helped me and you've helped me. I had to look and see what you were doing that was real, that corresponded with my frequencies, that looked at you as family, as love, to love myself, to be the hope that I want to see, to accept accountability, to not want to be a burden, but a blessing, and to work to do that until you told me that I'm worthy. Not for me to tell you that I'm worthy. To be the hope that I want to see is for you to be able to see that I'm the freaking hope. What? And I saw that with the bits and pieces that were taken of my essence, of the essence that was shared with me, that I share with you. But it didn't boomerang, it didn't come back yet. I couldn't figure out a reason a way to get it to come back. I kept trying to figure out ways to do that, but I'm off balance in that area. That's not my forte. As you can see, I'm busy with a lot of other areas here. And so it takes us who can see and value one another to be able to see what we have and the way that we work and the dynamics of us as a body. Not a hand out, a hand up. Mutually beneficial. My casa su casa. Much love to you and yours. Okay. Anybody want to come in? Oh. Good day. How are you? Adding. Good day, love. I added you. You're not coming on. You were gonna be my ultimate defiance to actually talk to someone. Okay. I see that you're not. Your camera must not be working or whatever. Okay. I tried to add you, love. Well, I don't see the button to add you at all. This is weird. Okay, so I'm finished. I can't ask any questions because one doesn't have a button and the other one's not answering the camera, even though it looks like they're requesting. So we're still learning the technology and stuff like that. Oh, frankly, if you have eyes to see, our creator like packed me full of nuts. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of that stuff that they want to share with us. But it needs to be shared with us, not with the them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to fight it. As you can see, I could have told you this 8 years ago. I could have showed you this 8 years ago. But I wasn't ready. I'm not even going to put it on you. You know what I'm saying? Okay? So, wherever you go, there you be. Much love to you and yours. My casa su casa. Be the hope you want to see. I know you guys are going to have fun talking about this. Oh, please, feel free to donate. What? Yeah, I have a thing going on at Patreon when it comes to talking about dance. I am really not looking forward to getting off of this feed. Ugh, gosh, what I have to fucking deal with when I leave. Off of here, I'll play some music. Playing music helps. Frequencies and stuff, yeah. Listening to a fellow scholar. Massage, deep breathing, there's plenty of tools. Wonder why I came up with so many tools. I had a lot of different reasons, whether it was just my health or an environment, the way that I was feeling. So I've learned a lot. I had a lot of dynamics to overcome. Like I said, coming from a victim mentality to not wanting to be associated with that at all, to trying to find a way to fit it in as a empowered individual in the land of no power. It's been a riddle, y'all. Much love to you and yours. I'm out. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for making room for me. I'm at Regina's Rabbit Hole on YouTube. And I'm also on Patreon doing my Qigong for those of you who know about the therapeutic dance movement. Okay. Thank you, family.